Hello there, guys. I'm Eric Goldman from IGN TV. Super excited to be back here. A couple years ago, I was lucky enough to moderate the first panel for The 100 in a much smaller room here at Comic-Con when no one really knew what the show was. 2 years later, I think all you guys have figured out. It's one of the coolest, most exciting shows on TV. Let's bring out the people who are making it for you. We'll start off with executive producer Jason Rothenberg. She plays Clark. Eliza Tyler, please. He plays Bellamy. Bob Morley. She plays Octavia. Please welcome Marie Avgeropoulos. Can't call him Chancellor anymore, but he's still Jaha. Please welcome Isaiah Washington. If you need a mechanic, you know to call Raven. Please welcome Lindsay Morgan. And last but not least, please welcome the man who plays Lincoln, Ricky Whittle. So, a lot to talk about here, guys. I'm gonna ask questions for a little bit, throw in some social questions. I'm ready to get to you guys, so have your questions ready. Let's start off, though. Jason, season 10, I'm getting ahead of myself. Season 2. Spoiler alert. Obviously ended. A lot happened. Mount Weathered was taken out. Something is going on with Jaha right now. What can you say going into season 3? How will it begin? What will sort of the overall arc of season 3 be in a broad nutshell?
Okay, well, to start with a spoiler, we are going to have our first time jump between seasons. And we're going to pick things up a little time after, a couple months after Clark bailed on people. And the season itself is going to be, I think, as different from season 2 as season 1 was from season 2. So we change it up every year. Obviously, the Allie story, the AI story really sets us in a new, much more, I think, science fiction direction, which I'm excited about. We started the show as a sci-fi, real hardcore sci-fi show. We were in space. Obviously, we lost that. I really missed that. And so this lets us get back to some really intense, hardcore sci-fi, which I'm psyched for.
Liza, Clark, she had to do a lot at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, she basically said she couldn't be there at the end. She had to take off after everything that happened.
She's finding herself.
She's finding herself. What do you think her frame of mind is, though, at this point? I mean, is she damaged, or is it just the weight of it?
She's gone crazy. Come on. No, I mean, what she did at the end of the season was so huge and traumatic, and I think that she's running away, which is very un-Clark-like.
What we did.
Yeah.
We did.
So yeah, when we pick things up, I think she's going to be losing it a little.
Bob, for you, looking back at season 1, originally, Bellamy was sort of there was a co-leader thing happening in season 1. In season 2, obviously, once the other characters came down from the Ark, for a while your character was a prisoner, then he was off helping people in Mount Weather. What do you think his role might be now, coming back in with the larger group? And might he take another leadership role?
Clark left him there to kind of do that. So I assume that he'll just do what Clark couldn't do and become a leader.
Hey, hang on.
Some new leadership might be ahead. Marie, obviously Octavia this past season was really kind of on the road to becoming a grounder in a lot of ways.
Finally.
Finally. Until they freaking left her there in that tunnel. And, she still has Lincoln, clearly, but...
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
After that
My
sort
girl.
of loss, how do you think she is feeling she can fit in with the group? Can she fit in with the group, kind of going back to them at this point?
I mean, I feel like Octavia hasn't really fit in anywhere growing up under the floor. Doesn't make you the cool
She was
kid
small. She fitted in there.
ever. But, through Lincoln, she really found her place, within the world with the Grounders. And they really brought out the warrior in her. So I think she'd have a hard time going back to the Arkers and, be a little resentful towards those kind of people.
And Isaiah, Jaha was really going on this journey of faith. He was, leading some people along, saying, there's something that we're going towards. How do you think he's reacting now that he's got there? It's a very nice house, but it might not be exactly what he was expecting.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what kind of memes the fans are going to come up with now, because they had me in the Moses outfit. You did it. You guys did it. You did it to Jaha. He lost his mind. But I think
Camp Jaha in the house there. You see that player?
Good job.
That's a what?
Camp Jaha.
You know what? I'm sorry. I got to do this. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
For spending the night and staying out there all night.
Ovation for our guys.
You guys come and appreciate us, but we're going to give you a standing ovation. Thank you so much.
You guys rock!
Yeah! Thanks. Who's hungry?
No? I'm hungry.
I'm sorry.
Jason, it's not like the show. I mean, episode 3, I think, of the show had, a little girl murdering someone, and then she died the next episode. So it's not like the show was like light and fluffy. There was always darkness there, but season 2 went dark. Was this something sort of a real thing you wanted to do, or was it just where the story took you as you were, going into this idea and the themes you were exploring?
Both. I mean, we started the season, I knew that I was going to try to push them over the line. It was about how far would they go to save their people? At what point does the good guy become the bad guy? Was the sort of theme of the season. And, so we had that as a direction. The entire season, we were building towards that moment when she had to kill all those people. It was very important to me, as sick as it sounds, that there were kids there, that there were people that had helped them in that room to make the choice as hard as possible. And so, that didn't seem to be a kind of idea that lent itself to musical numbers or, any real happiness. So, but those few and far between smiles, I think, it's funny, when we see them smile, it's like, oh my God, they can
Yeah, it's
actually
weird.
smile. We'll get some of that after the time jump, perhaps, but you could bet it won't last that long.
Right. Marie, we talked a little bit about this, but the transformation of Octavia has been pretty remarkable since the show began. For you, what's it like taking the character from the "we're back bitches" version of Octavia to where she is now?
Oh my goodness, it feels like, 2 different people, which is a lot of fun as an actress to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. And it was pretty cool to meet people today in Germany, and they haven't even seen season 2 yet. And I can't wait to do the whole "I told you so," thing, because it's easy to judge her at first. But then she becomes like this kick-ass warrior woman, which is so much fun to play.
And Isaiah, Jaha, he was in charge. He was the guy calling all the shots. He came down to earth. Things had changed. How do you think he's dealt with that? Is there a part of him bitter about this, or has he sort of moved on from that?
I think a bit of all of it. You can't be in that position and sacrifice so much. What I do find interesting is that whatever he was trying to protect the Arkers from, and what he thought he was trying to protect even the children from, once he realized what was going on, he ended up losing everything that he was trying to hold on to. And the irony of it all is that even during the culling, ironically, he's not the only one that has bloods on their hands. From the very beginning, we're all, we've all have done some things that even with Finn, and just even the character Lexa, all these different things, everyone has blood on their hands thinking they're doing something for the greater good, and it just turns out to be pretty complicated. And it's going to continue that way into 3rd season for Jaha for sure.
Question we got from Maria. She writes, Raven is such an inspiration, and she's been through so much. What can we expect from her story in season 3?
I think season 3 is going to be awesome for her because you get to see the ramifications of season 1 and season 2 for Raven. Not only her physical endurance and storyline, but also at the end of season 2, she was in a really precarious situation physically again. She was already, as much as she doesn't want to admit it, delicate. And after, being in a bomb explosion and what happened in Mount Weather, she's worse off, and it's even harder to face. And emotionally, she's really living her life without Finn and really feeling that grief. And there's someone new in her life as far as, Wick coming in, and even that's a whole new obstacle for her. So she's really, you're gonna see a new Raven because she's changed by everything she went through, and, she's trying to rebuild herself piece by piece.
No pun intended.
So, do we have our first audience question?
Love it.
Killing the game, bro.
Fancy grounder.
Nailed it.
Hey, he sounds like he's getting ready for the third season, bro. I think he can work with Ali.
Fancy Grounder in season 3.
Yeah, and what I was wondering was, in the last 2 seasons, you guys have made a lot of truly philosophical, hard decisions. And have those being in them affected your compass and the way that you even look at life?
Jason?
Really?
I
Give this kid a job. Wow.
Grilling you.
Blew my
You've
socks
made me
off.
That
question
is
my
the
philosophy.
best question I've ever got. No, it hasn't changed the way I view life. I don't know if you're asking for each of them as people, as human beings, if it's changed them, or if it's changed their characters.
Them as like people themselves.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of them, from the very beginning, for myself, I always looked at this show as an opportunity to try and figure out the moral compass of what do you have to do again, and that's what Jason is so good at, is blurring those lines. What is moral? What is amoral? What is immoral? That is the proverbial question that I think all of our characters are going to continue to struggle with. And in terms of the individual, I always looked at this show as that, the last time we were here, we've had some pretty inhumane things happen in the United States that we all have to wrestle with, that we just couldn't believe that another human being could do something to these other human beings. But again, with the inhumanity that we are addressing today, we can probably shine a light on how we can be more humane today.
Throw in a social question here. Bianca asks, is there a possibility that Clark will meet up with Murphy and Jaha while she's away?
Oh, I would love that. That would be cool.
Yeah, there's always a possibility. We love to cross people with each other that don't necessarily always seem to go together, but I can't talk about that. That's way down the line. Jaha's on an island somewhere in the, Atlantic Ocean. Clark is on walkabout, trying to figure out who she is back home in Australia. So we'll see. Is the answer to that.
Next question.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Michaela Renshaw, and my question is mostly for Jason, but a little bit for Eliza. After the heartbreaking finale of season 2, is there any hope of reconciliation between Clark and Lexa, or is the relationship completely shattered?
Oh,
You
that's.
take that one first?
You can, yeah. You
Well,
should.
first of all, is there hope for reconciliation? I suppose there's hope for reconciliation because Alicia Debnam Carey's coming back to the show. Yeah. So that's a possibility, of course. But I think when they come together for the first time, there'll be fireworks in a way that we
yeah.
haven't seen before because Clark is pissed.
I'm really pissed. I mean, she really messed it up. She had a really good thing going. I mean, it's Clark, guys. But yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting to see how they butt heads or not.
Anything more you could say about when we might see her, how much we might see her?
No. I mean, AMC was awesome in terms of, the negotiation, and we have, a ton of story to tell. We're gonna really dive deeply into the Grounder world and the clans and the mysticism and spirituality of the Grounder world and how commanders are created. It's gonna be crazy. That's one of the things that I like the most in terms of world building. So that character lets us do that in a big way. So, yeah.
Next
I
question,
like to
please.
see. I like to see her have a time jump and go back and forth from Fear of the Walking Dead. If she get to play Lexa and the same character,
Shared
we all
universe.
get to go back and forth.
Next question.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I can't believe I'm talking to you right now.
What's up?
We love you, Hannah.
Oh, thank you.
We can't believe you're talking to us.
Okay. My question is mainly like aimed for Eliza and Bob. Like, what's your guys' opinion on Bellamy and Clark's relationship romantically?
I think they make they're a good team. I don't know. I mean,
so confused.
I think that there's going to be some issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I really kind of pissed you off, didn't I?
Yeah, but like, I mean, they were a good team. I don't know, like, romantically, not so much, but like, you know, I think Clark gave Bellamy the confidence to make decisions and to trust them. And she's taken that away and kind of left him alone. But I think he doesn't trust himself to be able to do that without her. So he needs her in that sense. I don't know what she kind of.
I don't think I'm really thinking about anyone at all at this point.
But romantically, I don't see it in like that, the pairing in that way. That's the way I see it. And don't kill me, Clark fans.
What I'll say about that is, you never know. I mean, you know, these two actors.
Oh, we're playing that game now, Jason. You never know.
I have literally never shut that question down, ever. I think that these two actors have incredible chemistry. We see that every day. We see the same thing people online see, and you never know.
All the fingers on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
All the Bellark hashtags.
It's like you piss one group of people off, or you piss the other group of people off.
Yeah.
Some Tumblr updates are happening. Next question, please.
My name's Kayla. I'm gonna take off my glasses because I'm gonna start crying.
Then we'll start crying.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it! Hey! Didn't I tell you who? Didn't I tell you? I knew it.
This might increase the crying.
I saw Bob at the Hard Rock last night, and I wanted to ask you this: what was your favorite scene or most horrifying scene that you've had to shoot, and what was the outlook going forward with your career in acting?
Well, I can say that my favorite scene was with this guy and this girl when I was fighting you in the flashbacks. And then when we ended up at the tree, it was when I stabbed Dax?
Yeah, Dax.
In the throat. And then we sat at the tree and, you know, he said he's a monster and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was intense.
Ricky Riddle!
Might be getting a invoice.
Yeah, what did you break? And then the bit about my career, I'm not too sure about that. But that scene really stuck out for me because it was like the two ends of the spectrum where I was fighting Isaiah quite hard and then having a chance to kind of sit down and debrief in the show. You don't really get many moments where you get to slow down and sit and talk about how you feel. So that was a really nice one. But I think in terms of my career, working with all these guys and on this show has helped elevate my work. Like working with these guys are really good, and you know, you only get better when you work with good people. So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry. I don't know.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Hi, my name is Isabel. And again, thank you for making a show that I can fangirl with all my coworkers about.
Yeah.
And everyone else. But my question is geared towards Eliza, more towards you. But have you read the books? And if so, how has that affect your approach to the script and how you act?
I've read the first book, but it's so different. I mean, they're kind of two different animals, you know. You've got and it was a bit confusing for me, so I stopped there because I needed my head to be in Jason's version. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting reading how. I don't know.
There was really no book when we started. There was sort of a treatment, a couple chapters written, and that's what I sort of used as a jumping off point to start telling the story. So that's why they're so different.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hey.
Oh,
Cool.
hello.
Oh, that's wicked.
My name is Kara, and there's so much action in this show, and I feel like with stunts, if you were able to choose whatever stunt you could do, wanted to do, have done, and 100% you would not get hurt, what would that be? This is for anybody.
I love doing the like the wire work. You know, when I jumped out. Of
Yeah.
That I'd love to do more of that, but I don't think there's going to be any flying in our show.
You never
anytime
know.
soon. Yeah, it's really fun.
I heard a little birdie say once that we don't do our own stunts.
Yeah.
Let's just put the record straight. I don't even have a stunt double. We do our own stunts, and this is the hardest working cast you're going to find.
Yeah.
Now,
That little birdie was probably me.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not saying any names, but some of us took offense because
They do.
pretty
Marie
Do their own
is
stunts. They do. I mean, there's certain level of stunt that we can't let them do because we.
Well, they both got to fight almost butt naked. That was kind of cool.
But these guys are committed 100%. And when you see the DVD this season, you'll see one of the extras on the DVD is a sort of stunt previs thing, which is amazing. And you will, in fact, see them all doing their own stunts. So.
Yeah, there's been some incredible stunts. Like Bellamy, Bob's been hanging upside down for minutes at a time, doing some crazy
that was
stunts.
pretty horrible.
Eliza
Probably wouldn't
jumping
wanna
off
do that again.
wires. Marie's constantly bruised because she just gives 100% every time.
I floated myself.
What's that?
I did my float stunt.
Oh, I don't want to know what you do to yourself. Like that.
I said I floated myself.
Was that in the bathroom just now? All right. You know, and Lindsay's the most athletic girl in the world. This woman's like
Period.
Yeah.
incredible. So, you know, they've got an incredibly talented but active cast as well. So we get to do a lot of stunts. Marshall Virtue's our stunt choreographer. He gets to come up with some incredible ideas. Jason, you know, they formulate these incredible scenarios, and we are fortunate enough that we, you know, are trusted enough to carry them out. So we got a lot of stunts coming up for season 3. I'll spoil something. I'm stunting first day, I believe. My first scene is going to be a stunt. So straight off the bat, we're coming at you guys hard. So watch out for season 3.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next one. Yeah.
Next question.
I'm Sage. Sorry, I'm shaking really badly.
Sage.
I'm fine. Okay, so a lot of the characters have killed people, obviously. So are they gonna have post-traumatic stress disorder from that? And is that gonna be portrayed at all?
Jasper.
Yes.
Jasper, for sure.
They all have post-traumatic stress. If you think about it, the characters from the Ark, the ones that have had the easiest go of things, survived a crash landing from a spaceship. So they all have post-traumatic stress. And yeah, we will see that played out dramatically this season, for sure.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could bring someone who died on the show back, who would it be?
Ooh, that's so
Good question.
Are you asking me?
That's a really tricky one.
Anybody?
I'd bring Finn.
I need like an obituary list. There's
Anya.
so many.
Anya was pretty tough. Bring back Anya.
Cage.
Not down your
Oh, I'd bring back
Raya. Oh,
Dante.
I didn't get to work with
Loved
Raya, yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I
That
felt
was a
really
hard
bad
one.
for shooting him.
Can I have my son back?
What about your dad,
Or
Eliza?
at least knew who.
Eliza, what about your dad?
What about your dad?
What about your dad? Yeah, what was your dad?
Yeah, she found a better dad with Dante.
Is that Heidi? Heidi
I think I see a Clark coming to the microphone.
Oh, is that a clock? Oh my God.
Oh, Clark!
So good.
Well done. Where did you get that jacket?
That jacket's.
It looks exactly the same.
It's the same one that was used on the show, and then I found it on eBay, took it apart, took about 10 hours of hand sewing, reconstruction.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's so
Good job.
Impressive.
And who beat you up?
Anya, it happens.
Yeah.
My question, first, thank you so much for your communication with the fans, especially to Jason. We've talked a couple times on Twitter, and I really appreciate the communication you've had with the relationship. And I wanted to know, with all these characters that you've created that have such
like representation in the show? Is it something you set out to do in the beginning, or does it kind of go along the way? I mean, when it comes to Raven and Clark being bisexual, things like that.
Raven? Are you like spoiling something?
No, Raven and having with disabilities or
right,
representation,
okay.
strong women, things
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the truth is that for us, it's not about gender or race or sexual orientation. It's about, can you survive? Are you strong or are you weak? That's the only division on our show. And that's why the women have the roles that they have. And that's why, you know, bisexuality is treated in a way that isn't a big deal on the ground. Nobody makes a comment about it. There's not a story about the fact that one of our characters is gay or bisexual. And so, to me, you know, I say sometimes...
Where it is 100 years in the future, hopefully we'll have that sorted out by then.
Right, well,
you know?
I mean,
you know, man?
You would hope.
Like, you know, get back to where it was thousands of years ago. It wasn't an issue thousands of years ago. People loved who they wanted to love.
Yeah, I mean, some things get better post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
What the one? Thank you very much. Next question.
She's Clark. I saw you first.
Hi guys, I really love the show. I love Raven. And and like I really love Plexa and Lark's Plexa's like whole storyline, but with Lexa betraying Clark and the Sky People, what will happen with the Sky People and the Tree Crew? Like, is there going to be another war? Is there going to be fighting? Or is there going to attempt to be a peace treaty? Because she really messed up.
Well, they will attempt peace for sure. There's a lot of bad blood on certain levels from certain people. But when we come back, the war is not on, and the tension has been released slightly. But that won't last for very long.
Thank you very much.
Is that Game of Thrones?
I have a quick social question, though, I want to throw in here, which was someone asked, will we see the mutated grounders, like more of them?
Ooh. Yes, we will. We'll certainly see characters that we have seen before that are that have mutations, and we'll play that story out too, and sort of understand the psychology that somebody that goes through life with a mutation and how they're treated by the grounder culture. We'll play that out. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm learning so much on this panel.
Please.
We have time for one more question.
Hi guys, my name is Ton. So my question's for Jason. So what kind of a sense of hope or like a bright spot do you see in terms of the show's morality, given that season 2 was just a smattering of depression?
Wow, when you put it that way, it sounds awful.
I had fun.
That quote's going on the DVD, by the way.
Yes, that's for sure. We'll sell a lot of copies.
Of depression. I love it.
You know, I think the world is a tough world that these characters have all found themselves in, and we're just trying to be honest and true to that world. It's, you know, it's kill or be killed, and some people live and some people die. I know this isn't a great answer. They'll find some hope within each other. They'll fall in love or fall, you know, in like or fall into bed. These types of things will happen. The way that we try to sort of, you know, find bright spots in our own lives. And so, you know.
Our own smattering of depression.
Yeah, it's really hard making a show. No, anyway, so yeah, I mean, I get it. I feel like the show is dark. It's going to be dark. It's not going to change. But those sort of, you know, little pops of comedy, whether it's Monty and Jasper, you know, little things like Lexa and Clark's relationship, Balark, if that's ever to happen, you know, we'll find our bright spots too.
Thank you very much. Well, I think all of us here love the smattering of depression that the movie brings us. So please thank all these guys. Season 3 coming next year. We're gonna go start making it. Thanks again.
Good job.